curious item which I picked up 30 years ago. I don't know if you've ever seen it before. Let's see if I can get it in focus. There we are. Any ideas? And then the bottom, it's got a sticky patch there for sticking onto something. What's it do? Very hard to guess. It does actually make a sound, but actually it makes a much shriller sound when it's going harder. Well, by harder, I mean faster on the car, because you put this on the front of your car to warn animals who don't like the sound of a high alert or a whistling sound. And it was produced about 30 years ago by an American company to help with the problem of running over wildlife, especially when it comes darting out of the forest or straight across your path. It puts them off from coming into the path because of the sound your car is making. I think the idea is you're supposed to put on one on each side of the car. You had this came with a pair of these. They came out as a pair. But it's interesting. The company who makes it out of California are called Alert Industries. It's just that. So the sound doesn't sound very much, but it's a much more shrill sound when you've got a 70 or 70 mile an hour speed in your car as you go along. So Animal Alert, never used it. Probably I do suburban driving mostly. I don't go through forests much. There aren't many in England left, so haven't used it. But I like the idea of it. It's intelligent. It's clever. Here's a lovely one, which I've had many years. I've only just opened it for the first time as well. The idea is, I think kids would do this, would love it. They put it on the collar there as they're about to have a meal, as if it's a napkin. And they then say, well, there's two different, well, many colours, but say this one here, you put it on there. The kid then remarks to draw attention to himself, really. Oh, I'm so hungry. I'm waiting for the food. I'm so hungry. I could eat a napkin, and he proceeds to eat it. So of course it would. This is rice paper. And this is coloured rice paper, what with vegetable dyes that don't harm. And this is the package it comes from. It's a Swedish company. I'll get it up to camera first, close up. It shows horrified people at a dinner, and they're looking down at a child who's about to appear, eating its napkin. There we are, eating a green napkin in this case. What a nice idea for kids to play a little joke on the parents at a party if they don't want them. They've all got green napkins, proper ones, it looks like, in the, perhaps they're all paper ones. But anyway, the idea is to use rice paper, pretending it's a napkin, and you chew away because it won't do you any harm at all. It's a perfectly good edible food too. And there's a whole packet of them too, all some different colours as well. A very nice joke. I have to say, I've only just opened it very, very recently, so sometime perhaps I've got to use that, perhaps over Christmas. I found also in this 1991 case 2 more of these charming little spring figures, which I think are so nice. This is something with a spring inside it there, and a good weight to it. I'll show it first of all performing rather than the other one. What I did find is the frog, which is the green one, goes on for a long time, whereas the dear old penguin comes to a halt rather quickly. But I've had him going or timed it for about a minute. It's extraordinary. And then bring it up close to the camera to show the detail of this little creature. This is the penguin. And there's a spring underneath. It's a wooden bit with a bit of weight there, which is helpful, I think. And the frog, who's well, just about a frog. So 2 very nice little items to add to the other ones I did the other day. So a nice one. And then there's an extraordinary one from NAEF, which is, I've had this for about 30 years. I've only used it a few times, but it's an extraordinary effect. It's on a piece of string, and it does a very clever little rotating action. What you've got there is little, they're not actually rings, they're actually ellipses. If you look carefully, it's very, very slightly flattened circle in each case. And when it spins round on the corner like that, it does something quite remarkable. The optical effect is extraordinary. And there's a very clever mechanism for doing it. This is a almost solid one. This one, he's got a hole in it, but it's actually got, I don't know whether I can show this to the camera, it's got a little ribbed bar in the middle of it, which is just about visible. The point being that the string goes either side of the ribbed bar, and this is the effect. You wind it up, first of all, by doing a bit of this. You're starting to see some interesting change already as they're doing it. And then you bring this down like this to wind it up and take it back up to the top as it winds back the other way. And then you bring it down again and you speed up Now look at the middle of that. Extraordinary. I'd swear that those 6 or whatever there are, 8 little white ellipses have turned into what looks like a round sphere, a round white ball inside. And there's curious things happening to the edges too of the conical sections, or as they're appearing to be on the outside. But it's the centre bit which I find so fascinating, that 8 or so little white ellipses turns into a perfectly circular white ball in the middle. Very, very strange, interesting effect from Kurt Leif's company. So a wonderful thing to have. They've made them that 1 year, I think it was, and then they've dropped them ever since. No one's ever made them since. So something for other people perhaps to come up with. It's extraordinary when you take a solid object, you put some patterns on it, and you rotate it, see what happens. You get some very surprising results. Do you like it?